How's it going, everyone? So in this video, I'm going to talk about how to get rid of a jammed finger fast. So before I get started, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do appreciate the support, helps my channel grow. Please follow me on Instagram, Dylanberg999. So I've jammed my finger before, my thumb. It's very common. One thing to do is you want to follow a principle that's called RICE. So it's an acronym. It stands for Rest, Ice, Compression, Elevation. Very, very simple to do. In my opinion, one of the best is actually the elevation. One that is often overlooked, but it's what really gets blood flowing to the area, and that's elevation. So we'll start with the first one, R, which is the RICE, RICE, which is the R, the first one, and that's just simply rest. Rest is super, super, super important. You need to rest that finger. Try not to use it as often as possible. Try to rest it as often as you can. The next is ice. This is very important the minute it happens. Ice is going to be less effective since it happened. So if it just happened, maybe 2 to 3 hours, ice is super important. It's going to work pretty well. If it's been like 4 to 5 days, ice isn't going to do as much. Compression, you can get compression gloves. You can get finger compression gloves. They work really, really well. Compression is just good if you jam your fingers. This also works for muscles too. If you have muscle strains, muscle pains, RICE is very common for that too. Elevation, like I was saying, you don't need to elevate it really, really high like this. If you're laying on the couch, sitting on the couch, all you need to do is get a pillow and put it underneath your arm. So your arm is just raised or your hand is raised a little bit. It doesn't have to be much. A simple elevation is all you need. So end of video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.